Okay, so now we're recording. So let me get started. I'm Betsy Bishop, and today is Monday, June 4th, 2018. And tonight, on our hot topic for the Star Thrower team, we're going to be talking about what do I do at a party? Because that's a very good question, considering we are a party plan company, and that's essentially the crux of what we do. I actually have a script because everything that we do in our company is simple and duplicatable. We work really hard at keeping it that way because we love to have people be successful, and and we love all of your friends to be successful when they come in too. So we've come up with these really simple systems to do this. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say to you is that parties are the core of our business. And that's something very important to keep in mind, because when we can do simple duplicatable parties, we can have a systematic way of earning income. And so we're going to talk about those 5 key steps in order to kind of boil it down a little bit and grab a handle on it. So the 5 basic components I'm going to talk about. One is the setup and the time with the hostess. So it's the pre-party time, but while you're there. The second is the greeting of the guests and getting to know them. The third is going to be the product party presentation. The fourth is the concept of the all-inclusive checkout, like how to make the most of the checkout time. And then the fifth one is packing up and those last few words with the hostess, like how to make the most of all this. Now, I want you to think about this concept that we get what we focus on. So for me, because I'm a business builder, my goal is a big income, right? When I'm driving to a party, my mindset is I'm looking to book 2 parties and I'm looking for 3 potential consultant leads. And I know I'm going to sell a boatload of jewelry, just plain and simple. I know I'm going to. For someone who's a hobbyist, your goal is going to be to get jewelry, right? To sell jewelry, help the hostess get free jewelry, that kind of thing. If you don't really want to grow a team, you just want to book a whole lot of parties and that's it, your goal is going to be booking parties from parties, so you're not always reinventing the wheel. So you'll be booking parties, setting that goal as you're driving there, and knowing that you're going to sell jewelry. But if you grow a team, your goal is to be looking for people first. So everything that I'm going to share with you will help you to do all 3 of those things. So just understand that I know that there are some people who don't care about some of those things, but I want to give you the full gamut of what you could be looking for and focusing on while you're at the party. So an average party lasts about 2 hours. And with some planning, we can set up 30 minutes ahead and be done easily 30 minutes afterward, and preferably 15 minutes. The key is to have a great time at your party while you're using every minute strategically. I've had people say to me, oh gosh, I can't seem to get out of there in 2 hours. But that's us. That's because we haven't been planning well enough. I mean, honestly, if we say to the hostess ahead of time, not the night of the party, but ahead of time while we're host coaching her, here's how it'll go. I'll get the parties at 7. I'll arrive around 6:30. I'll get everything set up, and then I'll help you with the last minute few things. And then around 7:30, I'm going to do my little quick presentation around the table where nobody sits down or anything like that, the old school way. We don't do that. And then I'll say by about 8:45, I will wrap up, take the last couple of orders, and I will be packed up and out of your hair right after 9 o'clock. So we're already setting an expectation for that hostess of how easy this business is, okay? If she sees ahead of time that we have a simple duplicatable system for the way we do our party, that it's pretty cookie cutter, and that we get to define how many hours we're going to spend on our business that night, she's going to look at this as more of a business opportunity for herself than she ever did before. Because what we're trying to be is duplicatable in everything that we do. Our number one potential consultant is always our hostess. So things to think about during your setup, practical things. You'll want to set up where there's plenty of light. You might even need to bring your own lights. IKEA sells gooseneck lamp lights that are plug-ins for $9.95 or something like that. Dining room tables, countertops, kitchen tables are the best. A lot of times in these houses, the lights are good because they'll have the overhead lights coming down onto things. The worst setups would be like coffee tables because they're really low to the ground and it's hard for people to see the jewelry because the lighting is so poor on lower tables like that. We want to be really duplicatable so that others watching can picture themselves doing what we do. So we want to make only 1 or 2 trips to the car, if at all possible. So we want to create a really simple, quick setup for our jewelry. I have created a setup that literally takes me 10 minutes. Once I'm in the door, it only takes me 10 minutes to set up all of my jewelry. And it's a very simple system, and it's the same for teardown. So the hostess is like, oh, how can I help you tear down? I'm like, I've got a quick system. And literally 10 minutes later, it's all packed and ready to go. So it's important, and that says a lot to her because then she's like, oh, I could do that. And I want her to say, I could do that a whole lot better than she can, but because that would be even better. So remembering that our hostess is always our best lead for the business, and we want to be planting those seeds with her. At a minimum, while we're hostess coaching her, before the party ever takes place. Okay, Susie, I'll do that. I have done that, but I will do another one. I'm glad you asked that question. Do a video setting it all up. Okay, I'll do it. In fact, I'll do it on Facebook Live sometime this week. That's a great suggestion. Thank you. So at a minimum, I'm going to say something like this to the hostess. I'm so excited for your party coming up in a couple of days. I don't know if this is something that you've ever thought about doing, but you might watch what I do the night of the party and see if it looks like fun for you. Or I don't know if you've ever thought about doing what I do, but this could be your launch party if this is something that you've ever considered. I know how much you love the jewelry. Maybe you're looking for another, extra amount of money every month. This could be something to think about. And I put the ball on, it's sort of like playing tennis. I just served the ball over to her side of the court. That's what I just did when I suggested that to her. Okay, and then we're going to keep volleying back and forth as the days wear on. So it's good to talk to your hostess, as I said, about the flow of the evening. And so I will explain to her what it is that I do. So for example, I might say, I like to give tickets to get your friends trying on the jewelry really casually for the first little while. And then I have a quick demo around 7:30. Can you help me round everybody up? And then they'll hang out and shop for an hour or so, and then I'll be out of your hair by around 9. At the last minute, we want to see if we can help her do anything once we are set up, and then it's a great help if we can help her answer the door too. It's kind of nice because by that time she's pouring wine and the doorbell keeps ringing and she's going back and forth. It's easier if we help to answer the door. Okay, which leads us to part 2, greeting the guests. Here's how I like to do this. So it is a great help It is a great help to our host when we get the door. Plus, then we can extend the hand of friendship. So we introduce ourselves, we ask the name. You might write it on a sticky note. This is a suggestion to place on the catalog. So then you might so I might say, hi, Rhonda, it's so nice to meet you. I'm so glad you came to the party. And I'll say, so listen, the wine or all the Bellinis and the food are all over in the kitchen and in the bar area. I've got all the jewelry in the dining room. And meanwhile, here's a catalog for you. Hey, what's your birthday? And she'll say January 23rd. I'll say, okay, great. 23rd, 2 + 3 = 5. So your secret number is 5. I'm going to write 5 on a sticky note on her catalog and hand it to her, okay, with her name. So now I've met her and that kind of thing. So, and I'll say to her, now listen, between now and 7:30, for every piece of jewelry you try on, I'm going to give a ticket and there's a prize at the end. Okay, so I've conveyed that there's a secret number. I've conveyed where everything is, and I'm continually conveying to people that I'm giving a ticket. So what I do is I bring double-sided tickets with me, and I give one of those tickets for each piece of jewelry that they try on until I start my presentation. Here's what happens: they get involved in the jewelry and they start playing, and they start salivating and making a wish list in their head or on paper. Because now they've got the catalog, and half of them have the catalog open looking for the thing that they just tried on, their best friend just tried on. And now they've got stacks of jewelry on, and they're going, oh, I just tried on 5 more. Oh, I have 10 more. And I'm giving out the tickets. And now they're falling in love with the jewelry even before I ever say a word in my presentation. So that leads us to part 3, which is the productive party presentation. Now, you can see an example of that party presentation on my YouTube channel. Shanna Campbell did that for us about 6 weeks ago, and I recorded it and it's on there. You can go to Glam Central and go to resources, to training, and under training, go to party presentation. And there are 3 separate videos that show you all 5 parts of the party presentation. If you go to the Star Thrower Team Facebook page, my script, Chastity Dix's script, Shanna Campbell's script, they're all on there, and they're almost identical to one another, and they all match everything else that you're going to see in video. We all do exactly the same thing. So we have a wonderful 5-part party presentation that helps us to achieve our goals. And honestly, it's like a recipe. You don't want to leave any ingredients out when you're making biscuits, right? It's just the way it is. That would not good. It's for the same reason, if at all possible, it's not always possible, but if it's ever possible, try not to leave anything out. Okay, the 5 components to the party presentation. The first one is the introduction. It sets the stage about Swarovski. You're thanking the hostess. Maybe you're giving her a tulip. I don't know. You don't even have to give her anything, but you want to say thank you. It's where we thank her for giving us the night off. We're planting a booking seed. We're talking about our high quality. We're talking about our price points, our connection to Swarovski, that kind of thing. The second component is called Dress the Guest. And this is where it allows us to show off some of our most popular pieces, really. And in 3 fun fashion concepts. Right now, the fashion concepts that we're going with are layer, stack, mix. And they're pretty timeless. They're not exactly trends. They're kind of, for everybody at every time. And they can be used in a lot of ways to feature your collection. Whatever jewelry you have, there is a way to do layer, stack, and mix. The number one goal of this part is to create desire for the jewelry in such a way that they're going to want to book their own party. You'll be giving them a few ideas in this process, and this part maybe takes 4 minutes. This is not a long thing. But most importantly, you'll be showing them what about $600 in jewelry looks like. Because $600, $500 to $600, somewhere in that range, is what the average hostess is going to get in free jewelry, plus with her half-price items. And that's the point to make. In free and discounted jewelry is what I say. The average host gets this in free and discounted jewelry, so you learn to say that often. So you'll have a tray or sort of jewelry scrolled away, set aside, worth about $600, ready for the thing. And honestly, if you're brand new and you have 8 pieces in your starter kit, all you need is your starter kit, because that right there is $600 in jewelry. And that's essentially what a hostess would get in free and discounted jewelry. So that's the Dress the Guest. And again, the script is available and you can see exactly how this plays out on these videos. The third part is your choice of a booking activity. Now for me, for some people, they play a booking game. I don't play booking games, but a lot of people do. The way I do it is I use that number that I assigned them based on their birthday. And I know, like, for example, Shanna uses dice to create that number. I just use their birthday, because I don't like having little things to play with in my hands. Like, here, roll the dice. I'm like, where are my dice? Wait, so I don't even fiddle with it because I'm not as good as Shanna. And so what I do is I say, look, ladies, now that you've seen what an average hostess gets in free and discounted jewelry, I want to point out to you that special number that you just got, for that number. So for Rhonda, your number was 5. My special offer to you is that when you book a party with me on one of my special party dates on my list over here, you can choose any ice bracelet, any Chanel necklace, any item up to $100 for $5, Rhonda. Now, Emily, your number was 7, so you can choose any item up to $100 for $7 in addition to all of the free and discounted jewelry that you'll get when you do your party as well. So that's the second component. The first is the free and discounted jewelry. The second one is using that special number. And I know you're asking me, well, so how do you give them that free jewelry when they do their party, that extra free bit of jewelry? every month, the company gives us a host special. It's $19 upcharge for generally another $100 worth of jewelry. It's either a $100 piece or $100 total. And essentially all we're doing is, instead of them paying $19 for it, Rhonda would be paying $5 and I'd be paying the remainder. Or Emily would be paying $7 and I'd pay the remainder, depending on it. But hey, it's a booking. Maybe it's costing me $12 at the party, but I just sold $1,000 at Rhonda's party, for example, and it's okay. I don't mind paying that $12 or whatever the difference would be. So that's the second component. So I've talked to them about the $600, whatever, free discounted jewelry. Now I've just talked to them about that special number that they have. The third thing I'm going to say is, and last thing is, I know that Cindy, your hostess, has a very large wish list, and there are a couple of key things on there that are really big ticket items. For every party that we book tonight, she's going to get another piece of 70% off. You get to give her this BFF coupon, Bling for a Friend coupon. You're going to fill it in tonight, hand it to Cindy to tell her when you're going to do your party, because at your party, she's your first customer and her item is 70% off. So now suddenly they have another reason to book a party, right? So now they've got 3 reasons to book a party. That's what the booking offer is all about. The fourth is the why story. And this is brief, no more than a minute, but it's really important because this is where you lower your voice and you connect with the women in the room so that they get to figure out a little bit about who you are and why you do what you're doing. Why am I selling jewelry in women's living rooms, right? Who in their right mind would ever want to do something like that? Well, here's how I got to this. And write it out so that it rolls off your tongue, no matter where you are, no matter how distracted you just got, no matter how uncomfortable you are, you've got to be able to say it in your sleep, your why story. And at the end, you're going to make a group offer, and it says something like, honestly, I know that nobody comes to a party looking for a business. But the great thing about this is that it's really simple, and obviously anybody can do it. You can give it a try for a couple months. Decide it's not a good fit for you. Stop selling anytime. Keep all the friends, money, jewelry you picked up along the way, or you might fall in love with it like I did, and who knows where it'll take you. Part number 5 is the Q&A. And this is, to me, for those of us who are business builders, this is the most fun part. So this is where, now they all have their tickets, right, from trying on their jewelry. I say, ladies, one last thing. I've got 90 seconds more in this, and I'm going to give away a couple more tickets, and then we're going to do our drawing. So they know we're almost done. And I say, now I'm going to bribe you to talk to me. You get to ask me anything about the business that you want. You could ask me, how much money do I make? You can ask me, where is our next incentive trip and how do we earn it? You can ask me, how much does it cost to get started? Who would like to be the first person to ask? We've only got 90 seconds. Go. And I've just given them 3 options of things that they could be asking me. My goal is to find out who is asking me the questions, because by that time, that becomes intel for me. The whole time I'm doing Dress the Guest, the whole time I'm doing the booking offer, I'm watching the expressions. It's not always foolproof. Some people will surprise you, but I'm watching the expressions to see who's nodding and smiling at me. In the Q&A, I want to know who's asking the questions. I may not remember exactly what she asked me, but I want to remember who asked me a question. Because then by that time, now the party presentation is over. I tell them, okay, go mess it all up some more. I'll be here for another 45 minutes taking orders, and I'll be out of your hair at 9. And I'm right here to do checkout and answer your questions in the meantime. 4th part of the night is the checkout. And this is where, so if the first little bit of time that you've been together is all about planting seeds for hosting, for booking parties, the checkout is where we reap the harvest from all the seeds that we just planted. So we don't want to be order takers if we can help it. It's not always possible. Sometimes they're like, okay, I'm ready. I got to go. Okay, not a problem. And I'll do her order, and I'll say, hey, so while I'm filling it out, I'll say, Pam, your eyes kind of lit up when I was trying all that jewelry on you. I hope you're thinking about doing your own party sometime, because your number is 4. You get an extra piece for $4. What do you think? And Pam's going to say yes or no, and she's going to run out the door, whatever. So she'll say what she's going to say. The key is to ask good questions during checkout at the same time that you're doing math. And I know that that's not an easy thing. So maybe before you do your first party or second party or third party, you want to do a little bit of practicing, doing the math, and doing a little talking at the same time. It's not easy. Some people actually bring an iPad these days, and they actually sit there and they fill everything in while they're talking. I'm like, okay, that's way too many skills for me. I don't know how y'all do that, but you're probably younger than I am. That's okay. But the key is to start asking really good questions. Did you have fun tonight? Melissa, was it fun tonight? What was your favorite part? And she'll say, oh, it was just fun to see everybody. Or, gosh, it was really fun to see this new line. I've never seen it before. Well, what's on your wish list? Did you mark a whole bunch of pages? Which things do you want to get tonight? Did you have a lot of other things that you wanted to get? I saw you tried everything on. And you're watching, you're watching her face. Sometimes, unless we offer a party to them or we offer them some information, they are too shy to say something. They might be like, well, she's not really asking me if I want a party, or she's not really asking me if I'm interested in the business, and I'm too scared to say something. A lot of women don't know how good they are. They don't know how good they could be, and they're afraid to say something for fear that we're not going to pick up on it, take them up on it, say the right things to them. They're afraid of sounding stupid. Women who've never had a business before, for them to sit there and say to someone like Lindsay, maybe I'd like to do what you do. That is a leap of faith. And a lot of women are afraid to be the one to say it. But if Lindsay says to her, you know what? You were a huge help around the table. You did such a great job. What an eye you have. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? Would you ever just give it a little thought? And maybe she was hoping that somebody would ask her that question. We don't know what women need when they walk in the door. We have an opportunity to plant seeds, to see what germinates and grows during that hour and a half that we have them with us, right? Our goal is to bless them, to benefit them, to figure out how we can help them in some way. Maybe it's just to give them a chance to shop for a gift for their sister in a fun atmosphere. Awesome. But we have story after story at national conference of women who came to a party looking for nothing but a glass of wine and walked away with what ended up being a six-figure income a year later. They didn't see it coming. They had no idea. But that consultant said, I'd love for you to take a look at this. You might have a lot of fun with it. I don't know, right? It's all about us being humble-hearted. It's all about us having that humility, but at the same time, being intentional and offering the compliment of, would you ever consider something like this? So that's what the checkout is all about. There are lots of ways of getting the party dated on the calendar. That's, for a lot of women, that's the scary part. Oh man, I have all these women who want parties and I don't have any dates. So let's talk about two different ways to get dates. Actually, there are several ways. One is to take, I'm going to post this on the team page tomorrow. There's actually something that Lynn Conway gave us yesterday, and it's my Sparkle dates. And so what you do is you fill in your Sparkle dates that are available and you hand people the list. Here are my available dates. Which one would you like? Right? People who want to party. And I have a pencil, and on the other end is an eraser. So pick one, put your name in, and we can always change the date for your party, right? For those who say, yeah, I'd like to do one. One thing, sometimes people will say, yeah, I was kind of thinking about maybe doing one. So then what I would say is, well, Emily, what about, would you want to do a weeknight or a weekend? And Emily might say, you know what, it would have to be a weekend. I could say, okay, I do every other Sunday. I do the first and third Sunday of every month as for parties. So that means the next two that I have available are these two dates. Which one would you prefer? And again, this is all about calendar control. If I say to myself, I'm only going to work on Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and 2 Sundays a month, those are the dates that I'm offering. I'm not offering anything else, right? Because that's what's on my list, and that's what works for me. That's when I want to work. And I'm showing her, again, so we're all about being duplicatable. So now Emily's going, oh, she has control over her calendar. She's busy, but she can squeeze in her business, and she's making money at this. Maybe I'd like to do what she does. I'm already giving her messages that are important and positive about owning my own business. that might translate to her. Might be that she translates it to a friend of hers. You know what? That Betsy girl, she knows when she books her parties. She does it totally around her own schedule. It seems really flexible. So you never know who you're going to be impacting when you say things like that. Another way of offering the parties is to say, hey, the next 2 dates I have available are these 2 dates, and see if either one of those picks. So one thing that I've observed is that it's kind of like, those of you who raise children, you didn't say like, well, what do you want for a snack, sweetie? You usually say, do you want peanut butter crackers, or would you like an apple, right? Or whatever, Cheetos or Fritos. And you give them a choice. So it works really well if we give that really crazy busy potential hostess a choice. I do parties on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and every other Sunday. So I have next Tuesday and a week later Thursday. So those 2 dates are this date and this date. Which one works better for you? And let her pick one of those 2 dates if she possibly can. And if not, then you go from there. So those are a couple of ways to work out the dates. One of the keys, I kind of like this whole, sparkle date thing. It's a list. Some of the dates are already filled in with names so that it's not a blank list. And you hand her a pencil with a good eraser on it so that she knows it's not in ink, right? Then the other thing that Lynn was suggesting to do is to say, okay, so Emily, that's great. So we've got this party date in pencil. I'm going to text you right now the party date, and when you get home, double check it to make sure that you're good with it, because I want to make sure that you get a date that you like and that's going to work for both of us, right? And that's how that it is so much easier. And I am the guiltiest of the guilty of not getting the party date the night of the party. But it is the easiest way to do this business, is if you work that little extra 30 seconds and get that party date the night of the party. Okay. Now, the closeout, tearing it all down, closing it all out. Here's what's really funny. Typically, by the time I'm packing up, there are still guests there. Don't feel badly about that. You've said to the hostess that you're going to be done at a certain time, be done. You can pack up and still stay and have a glass of wine, but be done with the business part so that people go, oh, she's done. That's awesome. Gosh, she made that look so simple. Yeah, that's the point. It's so simple. And you can stay and play if you want to, visit and chat with everybody. But you also want to have that opportunity to say to the hostess, okay, I'm tallying it all up, and a couple of friends are still there helping her clean up or drink wine or whatever. And you're saying, okay, it looks like you've got $925 in orders here, including the one that you got from before the party. Another $75 is going to give you 30% in free jewelry. So I show her what she's getting in free jewelry. And I say, so let's pretend you're going to hit 1,000, because I know you've got those other 2 orders coming in. Let's say you hit 1,000 in sales. You're going to get $300 in free and another $100 for $4 or whatever the number was that she rolled at the original party previous to this one. And then 4 items at half price. And I want you to know that if this had been your party, you'd be making $250 tonight if this had been your party as a consultant. So her friends are listening, and her friends are going, wait, she just got that much jewelry and she could make that much money? I saw what that girl did, and she wasn't even very good. I could do better. And you want them to think that they could do better. Seriously, ladies, parenthesis here, don't look perfect. I mean, do a great professional job. Be professional, be wonderfully friendly. But you can be looking stuff up in your catalog. I don't know what the price is. Let me find out. I always joke, there are 2 prices. One is the one that I think it is, and then there's the one that it really is. So I tell everybody at my party, I don't memorize the prices. Oh, I don't know the name of that. Let me go find it. I don't need to be the perfect consultant to be a great consultant. Does that make sense? We scare people away from doing what we do if we've got it all together. I don't know. I got to use a phone a friend option on this one. I have no clue the answer to your question. Let me call Betsy. Let me post it on my team page and find out what the answer is. Okay. Meanwhile, these gals have watched you. They just heard what their hostess is getting, what she could have made. And now they're all thinking really hard. And that hostess might be going, you know what? You and I talked about it before. We were thinking about this. Yeah, let's go ahead and I would like to sign up tonight. and then you go from there. You can even say to her, I booked 2 parties tonight. This is for those of you who are building a team. If you're not building a team, ignore what I'm saying. Scratch it. If you're building a team, you can say, great, 2 parties I just booked tonight. They can be yours. I will help you hostess coach them. I will teach you exactly how to do them so that you can maximize your rewards from this. And that you're off to a great start and making a great income. What would you think of that? Now, if you don't think that she would do a good job as a consultant, don't do it. Don't flip her. Don't tell her how much money she could have made if you don't think she would do a good job. Or if she's kind of non-committal, wishy-washy, don't flip her. She can sign any other day of the year that she wants, but don't flip her at that moment, okay? That's okay. Keep the party for yourself and make all the income. All right. So here's the key. There will never be a perfect party. Every party I leave, I think of 5 things I wish I had done differently. After all these years, it's just normal because it's human interaction. We're human. We get tired. We forget things. We get distracted. It's just normal. The key is on your way home, think to yourself, who do I need to follow? Who do I want to follow up with about parties? Who do I want to follow up with about the business afterwards? And what did I do right? What went really well? What am I proud of about myself? And what one thing do I want to do better at my next party? That's it, okay? We don't care about perfect. We care about you being sweet and friendly, having a great time, enjoying the jewelry, enjoying the ladies. That's the most important component, okay? The rest of it will all come with the frequency and repetition of doing party after party. It gets easier and easier and easier. Okay, so what questions? I know I've gone over and I apologize, but what questions can I answer for you all? And I apologize for going into the weeds on a few things. And if I don't answer your question, I'll direct you to a better source. Questions? Paul, are you trying to ask a question? Hang on. And I know you're not muted, but I can't hear you. I apologize. I think everybody's, I don't think it's you. Go ahead and type your question. Can you type it? Could anybody hear Paula? Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, Paula, can you
Yeah.
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. When you were going through, first of all, great information tonight. Thank you so much.
Sure.
When you were talking about the tickets that you gave out and then you went into Q&A,
Yep.
you didn't say what was the point of, like, did you give them anything for having all those tickets? Like, you didn't.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, what about the tickets?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Thank
I
you.
know you want them to try on all the jewelry, but then they have all these tickets, so.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me. I skipped over that. I apologize. So what you're going to do after you do the Q&A for the business opportunity, you'll hand out a couple more tickets, just a few more for those questions. You only give it like 2 minutes total. Then I say, okay, ladies, it's time to do our drawing. And I will draw a number and I will give away one of our cleaning cloths. They cost $1, $2 in business supply.
Okay.
Or a little sparkly dollar pen from Target or Michael's, something like that, something to take home. I might draw for 2 if I have 2 with me. Nothing expensive, something little. If I've totally blown it and forgotten everything with me, and that has happened, like I walked out the door with no prize, I'll give away free shipping.
Okay.
At worst case scenario, that's what I lose $6. So, but I will have accomplishment. Thank you, Paula, for reminding me about that.
Thank you.
Like I said, there's no perfect party and there is no perfect presentation.
I'm like, wait, I'm missing something.
No, that was me. Yeah.
Thank you.
What else?
Betsy, I have a question.
Yeah.
when you're taking all these orders from all of the guests that are at the party,
Mhm.
I'm assuming that you're not entering them into the system right away.
No,
So
I
you're
take them
taking
home.
them on paper to make sure, because if you entered them in the system, then you can't transfer the party to her.
Right. I personally never do it that way. I always do it on paper. There are people who do it in the system. For me, there are still too many mental negatives.
Okay.
To your point, that's one of them.
Absolutely. Because then you can't say to her, oh, this could have been your party.
Yeah.
It's too late. You've already entered everything.
Right.
Okay.
And you can, and here's the thing, you can just, you have the right to decide as your own policy that if you get to that point in a party and she has not said she wants to do the business, that you're not going to give her the party at all. That you might give her the bookings, but you wouldn't give her that party. Perfectly fine. There is no cut and dry, kind of a thing. But I'm old school. I do paper.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Sure. But I'm not adamant about that. I mean, people will find their own way of wanting to do that, so it's okay. What other questions? Great question. Thank you. Good. All right, ladies. Well, I cannot thank you enough for being on with us tonight. And I will post a couple of things tomorrow that we got from Lynn Conway at our area training yesterday regarding the party. Most specifically that Sparkle Dates thing, because it was just great. And I think we all agreed that we wanted to do it. I will also post June, July, August calendar all in one page. That's really cool. And it's going to help a lot too in your planning, because we get what we focus on. We get what we focus on, which means you got to focus on something. And this party calendar and the Sparkle Date list will help you to focus on what's really important in building your summer business. And that's the most important component. A little later this week, we're going to do a party up work night. I haven't set, probably Thursday night, and I'll post it tomorrow morning when, but probably Thursday night we'll do a party up work night for 1 hour. Then right after that, it's going to be like a marathon. Then the next hour will be a future leader boot camp, 1 hour to go how to get to that 40% bonus. Okay, we're doing a quick 1 hour, like I'm going to pound it in so that you know exactly how to get there. And then the third hour will be for people who just recently hit leader, like in the last 6 months. Okay, I'm a leader now, what do I do? Right? Because now what do I do? Right? So we have a lot more training coming up this week. And Susie, to your point, thank you. I think she's already hopped off. She suggested that I do a video of setting up my jewelry. I'm going to do exactly that. I've done it in photographic form. I've never done it as a video. I'm going to do that this week too. So thank you. All right, ladies, have a great week. And thank you for hopping on. Crazy about all of you. And I'm thrilled for all of your successes. Have a great evening. Sleep tight. Nighty night.